Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Wednesday. Another day. Hope everybody have a prosperous, productive, and positive day. The 3 P's, the PPP. Positive, productive, and prosperous. A prosperous day. Me, in about another hour, I'm heading over to Florida Cancer Specialist for another 4 hours of chemo treatment. Just got my eyes all messed up. Got my skin, everything. But yo, check this out. A lot of things going on this summer. Found out, well, I knew this was coming. I was told on June 28th, LL Cool J festival out in Jersey. But still on June 28th out in Springfield Park reunion, we still going to get it on in the daytime. Yes, my man Chucky Chuck. We still going to drop it on the daytime. June 7th, Shaw Rocks Day. Up in the Bronx where the people are fresh. How important is the MC to hip hop? Well, we working on that. We got all the footage. We just got to tape a little bit more. Keep it moving. Shout out to Anita Scipio, DJ Scipio with their books, Easy AD. Spit or Quit, the links are still there for y'all who never seen it. Part 1, 2, and 2.0. Check it out, man. Support Spit or Quit. Shout out to Daniel OG, hit 10,000 views on his freestyle mixtape. He hustling hard, sending me numbers every day. 9,936, 9,953. Now you hit 10,000. Yeah, and you want to show me some Hot Wheels? You think you funny? Yeah. Don't let me have to show you my Hot Wheels. Matter of fact, they're in boxes. Yeah. So, 52nd anniversary of hip hop. Shout out to my partners at FAFO Entertainment. They're not my partners. They're the one who's putting me, they're the one who's doing it, and I'm helping them. FAFO Entertainment. And I was trying to be like, yo, what's that? Yo, Van, you know what that means. Fuck around and find out entertainment. I'm like, oh, shit. Here y'all go. We celebrating Virgo's birthday that day. Flyers will be ready by the weekend. But this is a hip-hop honors and dinner. Get your tables, because people are reserving their tables. Table of 10. You can bring your own brown bag. We ain't trying to sell no liquor. And for those who got their birthday, you can bring your own cake. Your own cake. That's how we letting people celebrate. Because basically, I was always talking about doing a hip-hop dinner for us to socialize at a restaurant, and we eat and we talk and we take pictures. I said, you know what, let's just tell my friends, and I'm like, let's do it the 52nd anniversary of hip-hop. Let's call it the hip-hop honors and, awards dinner. Because, we're going to have food. For those who get a table, you get food. For those who want to get the regular ticket, you can buy your own plate. Bring your own brown bag. Liquor only. Like I said, if you get drunk, security. The last couple days, I was just watching videos like how important the DJs are. DJs are very important. There's many DJs in this game. I like a lot of DJs, and I got my favorite DJs, Flash and Theodore is one of my favorite DJs, Charlie Chase. Hollywood. Definitely love Love Bug Starsky. Rest in peace, Love Bug. Then a lot of the mixtape DJs that became good DJs. Chubby Chub and Who Kid and Cool Kid and Cosmic Kev. Cool Kev. DJ Capone, who now DJs for Rob Bass. I remember him as a young kid coming to my store. Who Kid, DJ Envy. They all had their styles, You got the Kid Caprice and the Ron G's and the SNS and And rest in peace to K Slay, Red Alert, Jazzy J. And like, listen, DJs got different styles, you know, Rock and Rob, Dr. Dust, you know, Reggie Wells played one way, Eddie Cheever, rest in peace, Eddie Cheever, when he was a DJ, played another way. You got Howie D. You know, let's give a strong arm for the DJs. But two of my favorite DJs I really like, you know, they don't get their props. You know, I definitely like Brucey B. Definitely love Kev Rockwell. You know, they don't get they due justice, man. You know, shout out to Kev Rockwell and Brucey B. You know, there's a lot of DJs. I'm trying to remember some of the names. You know, Africa Islam, Prince of Charm. So many DJs out here, man. Even Disco B, when he was DJing. Rest in peace to Junebug. Man, Richard Hott, who used to be over at Charles Gallery. Man, there's so many DJs. Even B Fats. He be tearing it down, you know? So many DJs out here, man. But like I say, the 52nd anniversary of hip-hop, man. I'm tell y'all right now, get your tickets early. We ain't gonna add the acts on until later on this summer. But we going out now hard because we got 2 ballrooms. That's how much we're anticipating. And these days, everybody ballroom is small, you know. And they want to, my man said they trying to charge you an arm and a leg for the space. And it ain't like if you go in the Harlem World when we had 1,000 people. And Jack, rest in peace to Jack from Harlem World. Used to go to Harlem World. Same thing with Richie T at T Connection. You know, when we gave parties, you know, we did a deal. You know, we split the door. You know, you can get 800 in Harlem World, you know, back then. You can get 700, 800 in T Connection. You know, when I did Empire Skating Rinks, you know, with Gloria, rest in peace, we split the door. Some places you had to rent. Same thing with Broadway, rest in peace to Leon Brill, Broadway International, when I was doing Broadway International. Yo, you brought me in, you know, we split the door. You know, we take care of the acts, we split the door. Everybody was happy. You know, it's a big difference from when Ray Chandler was doing parties. Rest in peace to Ray Chandler, Black Door Entertainment. You know, we was doing the PALs and, you know, $2 and $3 parties. You know, it's hard. You know, PL on 183rd Street, Oscar. Rest in peace to Oscar. You know, shout out to Arthur Armstrong, who opened up a club at the Sea Garage. All the time we had to rent out Savoy Manor or Stardust Ballroom. Rest in peace to Jack, my man Fat Jack, that was down with Nicky Barnes and them that owned the Stardust Ballroom. He ended up owning the Golden Lady, the strip club. That's where K Slay was doing all his event. Jack died a couple years ago. Back in the days, Jack, they call him Fat Jack because he was big. Looked like one of the Osley brothers' face and the hair. But he had a little 2-seat white Benz and trying to squeeze in that shit. He used to be right there on Boston Road, across the street over there where Richard T had his record store and everything. Even when I did the Roxy's with Steve Hanel on Friday nights after Vito Bruno left, you know, I did a deal with the Roxy's where I was getting like $3 a head. You know, and the Roxy's used to get $1,500 on a Friday night. But when I took over Friday nights and the guest list was like 1,000 guests, I asked Michael Chin, I said, yo, why are all these people getting in for free? He said, oh, you know, I said, nah, man, we got to cut this guest list down to like 600. So when people used to call up, get on the Roxy guest list, and I said, what's your purpose of that you shouldn't pay to get in? Well, you know, I'm friends with Steve Hanel. With certain people, Steve said, yo, they got to get in. But I cut that list down because if I'm getting $3 a head and I got 15, 20 acts doing the award show, Chuck Leonard hosted my award show at the Roxy. Rest in peace to Chuck Leonard. Damn, this sound like, wow. And you know, had all these acts on there. It's hard. You know, people don't get it when you do events, man, what it takes. You can look at all the people in there. You also got to count out the people that got in there for free. You got to count out the expenses, the DJ, the equipment, the security. All that stuff add up. You have to excuse me. And trying to do it today, it adds up. That's why I asked Sal, when you do Lehman, how you manage it? But the groups give Sal a break. They don't charge their regular rate because it's Sal. Sal done looked out for everybody, especially when you went to Disco Fever. And I was talking to Reggie Wells the other day, and you know, we was talking about Sal and how we knew Sal's father, Ali, rest in peace to Ali, when he had the Salt and Pepper Lounge on 167th Street, we knew Sal's father first. We knew Sal's father first. Then we met Sal. Now, actually, I was talking to Sweet G. They used to work at the Fever. It wasn't Reggie Wells. I was talking to Reggie Wells about something else. It was Sweet G that made games people play. We were both talking about how we met Ali, Sal's father, before we met Sal. Sal wasn't even in the game. When we, you know, the Fever wasn't even open. So there's a lot of people that contribute to hip hop. No matter if they were an MC or a club owner, they opened their doors, you know. Harlem World was definitely a place. Then you had the Harlem World crew there. But I'm just saying, you know, Leon Brill, after Harlem World went down, Leon Brill opened the doors to me over there. Let me do shows there. One big show we did with me and Donald D from Harlem. Rest in peace to Donald D. Bow and D. Fat's brother. We did Flash, Furious 5. Mick Jagger came to that show. I told Scorp the other day, yo, Mick Jagger was there. He came. You know, you'd be surprised what kind of people will come to a good show, show up. You know? I mean, you had other places like the Karate Club and B&B. You know, you had Gusto. Shout out to Gusto, Rooftop, Skating Rink. Shout out to Smiling Billy Sr., rest in peace. But Smiling Billy Jr. and I was doing shows at the Ponder Roads on 145th and 8th Avenue. Courtesy of Master Don, rest in peace, Master Don, who introduced me to Smiling Billy Jr. Then you had G-Force up on St. Nicholas Avenue. You know, we were doing shows in Ponder Road where we did Mr. Magic's birthday there. Yo, that shit was so packed. 145th Street had about 1,000 niggas, excuse my language, 1,000 people trying to get into the Ponder Road. And I told Master Don, yo, Van, we could get like 600, 700. I said, Don, there's nowhere in the world we can get 600, 700 people in this spot. Which I know we couldn't, man, because Ponderosa was cut up, you know. So I did a party one time in the Battlegrounds over there. And it was another park on 150th and 8th Avenue. First time I let Dougie Fresh do a party. Well, not let him, but first time I put Dougie Fresh on a party. He was called Dougie D. Him and Loose Bruce. You know, Pete Nice found one of my flyers from Edenwald Community Center. I forgot I even did that show. That party at Edenwald. Shout out to Duke. Duke ran Edenwald Community Center. That's Cowboy's father in the Furious 5. Old Duke. And I broke the skating rink over there, 149th Street. Then it became the Bronx Skating Rink. Did parties there. That's the first time I bought a New Edition to the Bronx. Because Herman M. and friends, shout out to Herman who's in Barbados, we did New Edition over at Celebrity Club. And we did Madonna. When she had Borderline. Her first song, whatever her first song was. Sound of Fly with the Cold Crush Brothers did that I did, Celebrity Club. You know. I was working with Herman M and them, promoting with Herman and Mark. And then we was doing Red Parrot. after work parties and all that type stuff. But I did a lot of parties. Did parties with Mike and Dave. We used to do Olympia Palace, Martin Van High School, all out in Jamaica, Queens. Oh, then we did Empire Skating Rink. No, not Empire. Jamaica Roller Dome. Did a couple joints out there. You know, Brooklyn parties we did, Empire. It was another spot that I did. Forgot the name of it. I know, rest in peace to Freddie B, but Freddie B and them, his crew, they was out there. Took the Funky Four out there, shot rocking them. Jeff, good morning. So, I stopped giving parties, but I just started 2019, we did SOBs, the 46th anniversary. Reggie Well like, yo, Van, bring it up to Club Miss. Bring it to Club Miss. I said, yo, I can't, man. I said, it's too late, man. We done sold tickets. Everything was taken care of, Rubber Moore and Black Ivy. You know, this is just all of it. Laser Sky, you know. I wasn't in the right frame of mind. Then we did a Club Miss with MC Shannon friends. Had a birthday party there. Tara Wallace from Love and Hip Hop. Shout out to Tara Wallace from Love and Hip Hop. I used to manage her. I talked to her a couple days ago. You know, did Club Miss. They treated me dirty, yo. They gonna double book our event. And we had to change the event. And then change the event. They gonna come back and want to try to charge me double the rent. And I couldn't back out. That was a bad night. Still got it. Black Ivy, I gotta take care of that. Feel bad, man, how they treated me, what they did. Your own people, your own people. But on a better note, just want to say to everybody, 52nd anniversary of hip hop is gonna be in September. I'll give you the date. We only got like 10 tables reserved already. There's only 28 tables. You know, we had to go and get the other room so people could dance, have fun. There's no guest list. I ain't forget that part. There's no guest list. No sneakers, unless you're wearing a suit jacket and some, you can have some nice jeans, or you can put on a suit and put on a pair of kicks. I let that go through. But you ain't definitely coming up in there with no hoodies. I don't do that. No sweatsuits. At least one day of the week, y'all can get dressed up, man. At least one day of the week, man. One day. I ain't asking for yours. I'm not doing, just because it said the 52nd anniversary of hip hop, it's time for y'all to get dressed. Dressed to impress. I ain't out here trying to be like, oh, you know, don't come there if you ain't got a ticket. Don't come there lurking at the door trying to get in. You got enough time to get your ducats, your paper up for this event. And my friends and them is not going to spend money to put this together for us, and y'all think y'all gonna walk in there free. Doesn't matter who you are. Prices for Pioneer the Legends, you can make a donation to it. Trying to be fair, but remember, bring your own liquor. I don't care if you put a half a pint in your pocket. You could be like Otis from Mayberry RFD, go get drunk and lock himself up in the jail. Or you could be like Ned the Wino, you pick one. You know what I'm saying? All you women and ladies and queens coming out, show the men how y'all can get down. You know, when everybody come and be happy. Don't bring no negative vibes to this door. You get a refund real quick. Good morning, how you feeling? So let me go in here and pack my bag, get myself together. I've been up since 4 o'clock. Couldn't go back to sleep. Now I'm going sitting over here with Dr. Frankenstein. you know, so they can get blood and be glad when this cancer situation is over. It's 3 years. I got to sit there while they put this in my body, and then when I leave, I still got to walk around another 46 hours with a fanny pack attached to my shoulder. So between today and Friday, I'll be getting cancer treatment 3 days straight. So even though I lose the taste in my tongue and food tastes funny, I still eat. I take my pills in the morning. I take my elderberry. I don't have no sea moss, but I take my black seed oil, turmeric, my vitamins, energy. You know, got my water jug, and I survive. I ain't gonna let this beat me down. And to anybody else who got cancer. Oh, Iris, I gotta give you a call. Anybody else who's dealing with this or don't want to go get a colonoscopy, yo, stop all that, man. You won't even know it. I done had about 4 of them already. You know, so y'all have a blessed day. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Like red alert. Yeah.